What is up? It is Drew with Days Gone Disney, and today I'm going to be ranking in different tiers all attractions at the Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World. Now, as you can see, we have the different tiers here, different attractions. Top tier is S tier, meaning superior, the best of the best. And then under that, we have simple leather grades A through D. No Fs, because let's be honest, none of these rides or attractions are complete failures. But there are certainly some that could use some improvements, in my opinion. And that's exactly what this is. This is just my opinion. Obviously, a lot of you guys probably will have different opinions and thoughts about where these attractions should be ranked. So let me know in the comments below where you'd put these. Did I get it right? Did I get it wrong? I'd be curious to know what you guys think, so let me know. But let's not waste any more time, let's get right into this. So first up here we have Small World. Now Small World is a fun ride, Disney classic, with a catchy song that'll get stuck in your head for hours. But Small World is definitely not the best Disney ride in my opinion. Now it was a part of the best scene in the movie Tomorrowland. Yes, you heard that right, Tomorrowland. And if you don't remember, that's okay. It wasn't that great. It was the movie featuring George Clooney and that girl that looks just like Sabrina Carpenter. I mean, am I right or am I right? Seriously though, like has anyone ever seen these two in the same room? Anyways, enough about Tomorrowland. Small World though, honestly, like I said, not the best ride. I'm gonna put it in C tier for now, and we may move it later, but that's where it's gonna go for now. Okay, so next up here we have Dumbo. Now Dumbo is a very good first ride for young children, a very iconic ride in the Magic Kingdom. But honestly, out of the spinny round rides in Magic Kingdom, it's probably the worst in my opinion. Now what they did when they built New Fantasyland with the queue and adding the second Dumbo, it definitely does add to it, but it's still probably not gonna get higher than Small World, so I'm gonna put it right behind it for now at C. Okay, next up is Teacups, the Mad Tea Party. Um, Once again, another very iconic attraction in the Magic Kingdom. Um, I do think this is better than Dumbo and Small World probably. Is it good enough to reach B tier? Honestly, I say it is. I'm going to put it there for now, and once again, we may move it later. Next up here, we got PhilharMagic, Mickey's PhilharMagic. If you don't know what that is, it's a 4D show in Fantasyland. Honestly, it's very fun. I like it. Um, I love the part at the end when Donald gets blown through the screen and stuck into the back wall. Anyways, so this is a pretty fun show in my opinion, so I think it deserves to be at B tier for now. Next up we have Peter Pan's Flight. Now Peter Pan's Flight is a great ride, but it's always got such a long line. It's a little overrated in my opinion. Still a good ride though, a cool concept and a Disney classic. So I think this is the best we've had so far still. I don't think it's good enough to reach A, but it is gonna be towards the top of the B tier. Now next we have the carousel. The carousel, I mean, there's not much special about a carousel. I mean, you can ride a carousel anywhere, really. But to be right behind the castle and that view that you get from Main Street underneath Cinderella's castle to the lit up carousel at night, nothing beats that. But as a ride, I don't think it's up there. Should it be better than Dumbo? I don't think so. Not for now, at least. So we're going to keep it right here at C tier. Now, next up, we have probably the best addition to New Fantasyland, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Now, I don't have much to complain about this ride. The concept is great, the animatronics are great, the ride itself is great. I think the biggest complaint I have is just the ride time. It's very, very short. I'd like it to be longer, but it's still a very good addition to the park. I'm going to put it in A. I do think it deserves to be there. It's a very good ride. And speaking of ride times, the Barnstormer, probably the shortest coaster I've ever been on. I loved it as a kid. It is a great ride for children, great first coaster for children, but it's way too short. It's even shorter than Mine Train, and there's really not much to it. And for those of you that don't know, this ride was built with Mickey's Toontown that was formerly there in the Magic Kingdom before New Fantasyland. And it used to have more of a farm theme with a barn and everything. But since the building of New Fantasyland, they took that theming away and kind of went along with the Dumbo circus theme now found there in Storybook Circus. But it really doesn't make sense to call it the Barnstormer anymore. Really, this ride, like I said, great for children, but other than that, there's really not much to it. The name doesn't even make sense. So, is it better than the carousel? I'm gonna say no. We're gonna put it at the bottom of C tier for now. And if the Barnstormer were to be renamed, what should it be renamed to? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your ideas on that because the Barnstormer just doesn't work anymore. Anyways, next up we have the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Now, I feel this ride has a lot of negativity towards it already just based on the fact that it replaced the classic Mr. Toad Wild Ride in the 90s. But as a ride, it's not bad. I do wish, Mr. Toad was obviously still in the Magic Kingdom, but this was a fair replacement in my opinion. And let's be honest, Winnie the Pooh was way more popular than Mr. Toad. So let's see. I do think it's better than Dumbo. Is it better than Small World? Let's see here. Small World's a classic. I think I'm gonna place Winnie the Pooh just behind Small World there. Now we got Little Mermaid, Under the Sea with the Little Mermaid. Now this ride is a good ride. If you're from California, it's the same ride in California Adventure, but this by far has a way better exterior and queue. That in and of itself is what honestly makes this ride so much better than it is. As a ride itself, it's still a good ride, but I wouldn't say it is great. But I do think it probably goes up here in B tier. The question is where? Does it beat out PhilharMagic? I say so. Honestly, I say it beats up the Teacups too. I say it should be right here in B tier behind Peter Pan's Flight. And now next up here we have Casey Jr. Splash Pad and Storybook Circus, and this is D tier, and let me explain why. This was added in with New Fantasyland, and honestly, it's not the best use of space. I mean, yes, it's nice for children to splash around on a hot summer day in Florida, but then that's also annoying because parents gotta walk around Disney the rest of the day with their kids soaking wet. Not ideal. I think Disney could have come up with something way better to put in this spot in my opinion. So that right there is why I place it at the bottom on the D tier. Now next up here we have Enchanted Tales with Belle, also added in New Fantasyland. It's a unique concept, and if you've never done it before, the effect that Disney uses to get you from the pre-show room to the main show building is absolutely amazing. That is what makes this attraction. I'd suggest that you check it out just for that reason, honestly. It's I don't know how Disney does it, but after that, it's not anything that special. I mean, it's alright, but I think it's better than Barnstormer, but that's not better than the Carousel. We're gonna put it right here on the C tier. So next up here we have the Disney Railroad. Now, I love it. I know a lot of you guys are probably thinking, what's so special about the Disney Railroad? But let's be honest, it is a great mode of transportation to get around the park without walking, and it's the first thing you see when you enter the Magic Kingdom. It's so iconic. Disney has a history also with the railroad system. This is just so iconic to Disney. It goes up here on A tier behind Mine Train. Okay, so now we have the Jungle Cruise. Now we're getting to the good rides. Jungle Cruise, once again, so iconic. The ride full of great dad jokes.
Now we are on the Nile River, which goes on for miles and miles and miles. And if y'all don't believe me, then you're just in Africa. Yeah.
This is a great ride. It's definitely A tier, but is it better than Mine Train? Hmm. I'm gonna put it behind Mine Train for now. We may change that later, but it's certainly gonna be on A tier. Next up here we have Aladdin's Flying Carpets. Now I like this ride better than Dumbo. I just think there's more to it in my opinion. It's still not that great, but I do think it's got enough to it to put it at the bottom of B tier. I don't know. I like this ride. Unlike Dumbo where you just go up and down, you're also able to tilt forward and backward in this ride, which I think adds a whole nother element to it. And also you gotta try to avoid the camel because it will spit at you, which is I think another fun part of this ride. Next up here though, we got Pirates of the Caribbean, and you already know. This is one of the best. I mean, Walt Disney really hit the nail on the head with this one. Now, Pirates of the Caribbean at the Magic Kingdom is not as good as Disneyland's version, but it's still a great ride. And let's be honest, the fact that this ride had not one, not two, not three, not four, but five movies made after it, it definitely deserves to be up here. And they were all very successful movies as well. And you can't say that for some of the other Disney movies based off of park attractions. We're looking at you, Country Bears and Haunted Mansion. Anyways, enough of that. Next up here, we got the Enchanted Tiki Room. Another one that Walt was involved in creating. Another fun one. Another one that definitely deserves to be up here on A tier. Now the question is where? Is it better than Jungle Cruise? I say it is. I say it's right here in front of Jungle Cruise. Now next up after that, we got the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse. Now there's nothing much special about this. It's a fun place to go explore if you got children and you have time, which who has time on a Disney vacation when they're trying to cram in a bunch of different things at once. But if you do have the time, check it out. It's definitely not that great though. It's probably down here at C tier. I may put it ahead of Enchanted Tales of Belle, but that's it. Right here at C tier is where this one should go. And now next up here, we have the Astro Orbiter. Now this is another one that I like a lot better than Dumbo. Is it better than Aladdin's Flying Carpets? I think it is. I think this one deserves to be at the top of B tier, and here's why. There's really not much special about this one, but I do say out of the spinning round rides, this one definitely goes the fastest, and the fact that it's up high, the view you get of the Magic Kingdom, nothing's better than that. I think for those two reasons in and of itself deserve it to be higher than both Aladdin and Dumbo. Now next up here we have the Tomorrowland Speedway. Now this one is definitely one that's fun for children, getting behind the wheel for the first time. But let's be honest, if you're over the age of 5, this just isn't that enjoyable. And if you've never ridden it, if you've been anywhere near it, I'm sure you've smelled it. The fumes from those little cars, man, is that not fun. Yeah, I don't know. It's a fun ride, but yet again, it's really not that great. I think it should go right here between the carousel and the treehouse on C tier. Now next up here we have Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. Now this one is a great ride, fun for the whole family, and the cool thing about this is it's not just a ride, it's interactive. If you've never done it before, obviously it's like a game where you gotta shoot at targets to try to defeat Zurg. Such a fun concept. Not as good as the version in Disneyland though, once again, which is called Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters, if you've never been there before. But I do think this is good enough to get to the top of the B tier. So we're going to move it right here ahead of Astro Orbiter at the top of B tier. Now next up here we have the Carousel of Progress. On this one certainly is A tier. Should it be better than a Tiki Room? Honestly, I'm going to put it towards the end here, and here's why. It definitely deserves to be A tier. A fun ride slash show, whatever you want to call it. Disney classic, but I think It definitely needs to be updated. If it was updated, I may put it higher. Still deserves to be on A tier, but it's going to be towards the bottom of the A tier for that reason. Now next up here we have Space Mountain. Now Space Mountain, probably the most thrilling ride in the Magic Kingdom, even though top speeds only go about 30 miles an hour. But the fact that you're in the dark, the sharp cuts and turns that you take, a really fun ride. I know some people hate it, but I love it. I think it should be up here on A tier. Such an icon in the Magic Kingdom as well. Is it better than Mine Train though? Um, I think it is. I'm actually going to put it the top of A tier for now. Such a great ride in my opinion. But I do have to say, with the lights on, this ride is probably a B or a C tier ride. Have you ever seen that? Yeah, the dark is very important to this ride and is what makes it as thrilling as it is. But anyway, next up here we have Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. Now the Laugh Floor is definitely a fun interactive show where the monsters from Monsters Inc. make you laugh. Because remember, laugh energy is more powerful than scream energy. Um, I don't know though. Where should this go? I think it's a B tier show. I think it's better than Philhar Magic. Teacups, yeah, we'll put it right above the Teacups there on B tier. A very fun show, in my opinion. Now, next up here, we got the People Mover. Oh man, this one is a great ride. It's gotta go up here on A tier. Probably, yes, past the Tiki Room. I wouldn't say it's better than the Mine Train, but this is such a great ride. Such a unique ride to Tomorrowland, and definitely is missed in Disneyland. But anyways, it's such a great ride in the Magic Kingdom, and definitely deserves to be up here at the A tier. Now next up here we have the Hall of Presidents. Now the Hall of Presidents is a great show, classic to the Magic Kingdom. I know a lot of people have their opinions about it because of political problems or issues, but put that aside, and this is really just a fun show, supposed to be educational, and something Walt Disney really would appreciate if he was still alive today. But does it deserve to be in the B tier? No, I think it's down here, in the C tier, and honestly, I may just place it right there in between the Carousel and the Tomorrowland Speedway. Fun show, great show, but it shouldn't be any higher than that. And now next up we have the Haunted Mansion. Now I know I just got done a little bit ago roasting the movie, but we're not talking about the movie, we're talking about the ride. Now back in the spring on Instagram and Facebook we did a poll, a bracket style poll, on what your guys' favorite rides were in Disneyland and Disney World combined, and the winner was Haunted Mansion. So I know you guys love this. Such a classic, and it is a great ride. So I am definitely going to put it up here on the superior tier, right behind Pirates. It's not better than Pirates in my opinion, but it definitely is a close second. A great ride, and once again, another one that Walt was involved in and really got right. Really great ride. And really ahead of its time as far as the technology involved in the ride goes. So it's gonna be up here on the S tier. Now next up here we got the Liberty Bell. The boat goes around Tom Sawyer's Island. I think this is a Disney classic. I think this is a great ride. I think it deserves to be up here on A tier. Now I think I'm gonna put it behind the railroad at the bottom of the A tier. But I think some of the views that you get of Splash Mountain, Big Thunder Mountain, and the Haunted Mansion, as well as Liberty Square and Tom Sawyer's Island from this ride, such a great, relaxing ride. If you have the time to do it and never done it before, I definitely recommend it. So yeah, I'm going to put it right here on A tier. So next up here now we have Splash Mountain. Now I know obviously this ride is not going to be there for much longer, as if you don't know, it is getting a Princess and the Frog re-theme. But this ride, it's a great ride. It deserves to be up there. I think, honestly, it is better than Space Mountain. I'm going to put it at the top of A tier for now. I just love this ride, and I'm very excited to see what they do with the re-theme. I am sad to see Splash Mountain go, but once again, I'm excited to see what they do with it. But definitely one of my favorites. I love this ride, and I think it deserves to be at the top of A tier right here. Now next up, it looks like we have the rafts that take you over to Tom Sawyer's Island. I know a lot of people that actually probably don't even know that this exists, but if you have the time, be sure to do it. It's located right across from Splash Mountain and Big Thunder area over there in Frontierland. You can get on these rafts and go over to the island, um, and it's fun. I don't think it's that great. I mean, it's a fun area for the kids to run around and explore. Definitely a must-do visit, in my opinion, at least once. But I think once you've seen it, it's not one that you want to necessarily go back to over and over again. Not that exciting, so I think we're going to put it on C tier. I think we're going to put it right ahead of the Treehouse. I think they're very similar attractions. There's a little bit more to Tom Sawyer's Island, and it's a little bit more unique to Disney World and the Magic Kingdom, so I'm going to put it right here ahead of the Treehouse on the C tier. Now next up here we have Country Bear Jamboree, one that I really love, brings back so many childhood memories. This is definitely an A tier attraction. I think it's probably one of the best animatronic shows in Disney World. I'm gonna put it ahead of the Tiki Room right there at A tier. Um, Honestly, I think Carousel Progress and Tiki Room and the Country Bear Jamboree are very comparable. They're very close as well, obviously, as you can see. But something about Country Bears, in my opinion, is just I love it. I love it. So we're gonna put it right there on the A tier. Now next up is the wildest ride in the wilderness.
'Cause this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness!
Big Thunder Mountain. And if you don't know what to do with your hat and glasses on this ride, well, you best remove them.
If any of you folks are wearing hats or glasses, best remove them.
Anyways, but I think this ride is great. It's top of A tier. It's a great coaster for the whole family, and this is what I love about it too. Not only the theming, but the ride length compared to, as I mentioned earlier, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and especially Barnstormer. Big Thunder Mountain is not only a better coaster, anyways, but the fact that it's such a long ride compared to those coasters, it's really enjoyable, and I love it. It's a great ride, so it's gonna be top of A tier. And now, last but not least, is the Main Street vehicles and horse trolleys. It looks like on Main Street. Honestly, I don't know. They seem to be out more from my experience at Disneyland than at Disney World. You don't see them roaming the streets at Disney World too much, but they are fun. A Disney icon. I mean, it just makes Main Street. When you see the trolleys and horses going up and down, it just gives you that Main Street vibe. It's just so great. So I do think it deserves to be up here at A tier just because it's such classic Disney attraction, I guess. But I don't think it deserves to be higher than any of these. We'll put it at the bottom of A tier right there. So that is it. All of the Magic Kingdom's attractions and rides ranked, in my opinion, into different tiers. If you guys liked it, make sure to leave a like. And just to let you guys know, we are planning on doing more YouTube in the future. We have plenty of ideas. If you have any more ideas for future videos, let us know in the comments. We may do more of these. Disneyland attractions, California Adventure, other Disney World parks, restaurants, food, Disney shows, Disney movies. Really, whatever you guys want, so be sure to let us know. Also, a big shout out to 4K Theme Park Videos that gave us the ride footage that was in today's video. A link to his channel will be in the description below. He has the best Disney ride POV videos, and that is not just my opinion, that is a fact. So be sure to check him out. And with that being said, once again, I'm Drew with Days Gone Disney. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one.